All right, welcome everybody. Dr. Keith here. Happy Wednesday, June 9th. How's everyone doing today? Crazy how fast time goes by. Again, hopefully everyone's doing well. All right, let me just fix something here. Sorry about that. I should have did that beforehand. Okay. Chris, good to see you. Okay, well, so with that, folks, again, thanks for attending. Looking forward to kind of giving my overall analysis on what I've seen, what I expect to see as we continue here in June. I'll give you some of my favorites that are coming up. Hey, Scott, good to see you. And Keith, John, Jeff, Chris, good to see everybody. Anyway, and Bob. And I thought we'd start out today. I think the last time we talked, we did talk about the market's probably going to be higher. I mentioned in the last couple of Sunday videos that I do expect we're going to hit highs here very quickly. Okay, and you can see on the Qs we're getting close, 338 versus 342.80. When you look at the spider, look what happened today, right? That is a new high, folks. That is a new high here. When you look at NAS or the Dow, not quite yet, right? We have not hit that 35,000. But you can see from the forecast, we expect to continue higher. Again, that does not mean every day, but when you get opportunities like we did back here where it bounces off the bottom Bollinger Band, we then wait for the entry, right? Look at this on the Dow. Laguerre trigger, but no green Hackenacci yet. And then right here, right? And there you have it, okay? Or if you go into the yellow at that point, which is the first green Hackenacci, because Laguerre's already triggered, you can do that, okay? But if you got in here roughly at 34,159, right? You hit it all the way up to almost that 34,800 level, okay? But the key was the patience, right? The patience there. What a great entry. And I remember the news back then, right? We're going to zero. Life's falling apart. New strand of COVID. All kinds of issues going on. The market doesn't really care about that, folks. I mean, they do short term. Certainly, bad news can make the market give us opportunities like that. But fundamentally, we're in pretty good shape and use this as times to re-enter, okay? Just like when you looked at the Qs, right? Coming down, where's our entry? We just wait, right? Right here, we're just kind of excited at this point. We just wait. Laguerre triggered, and when the Laguerre triggered on the Qs, we had a yellow dot, Hackenacci, there's your entry, okay? And I don't see Rick on the call, but I know Rick's been long here, almost from the bottom here, and he's holding on. That's fantastic. Again, look at the forecast here to head higher, right? Scott, the Laguerre triggers, well, my trigger, the way I do it is that when it closes above 0.2, 20%, or below 80%, okay, at the close by definition anyway. Does that mean I ever jump the gun early? Of course, I have, intraday even, but 0.2 at the close, 0.8, okay, that's what I look for, for the LRSI, okay. But what I found when you have the Laguerre and the Hackenacci agreeing, it doesn't get much better than that. Just like, again, I just want to show this as more of a perfect example recently. Where here the Laguerre triggered, but we had a red Hackenacci. You would have still made money on this, right? If you would have had your stop below this wick, you would have been fine. but I do prefer to wait until when the Laguerre is heading up, at least get a yellow, which is the first green Hackenacci. Okay, so you kind of have the double trigger there, and those are fantastic opportunities. Okay, so I do expect the markets to continue higher. I don't know what's going to happen when the Dow hits 35,000 again. I don't know if it's going to make another decline down, or if it's going to finally burst through that 35,000. But right at 35,000, that got kicked back, right? Why is that? You get a lot of computer programming, okay, going on at that point. People taking profits, people getting stopped out, and so forth. Okay. All right. So again, I'm expecting over the next month to continue higher. Not every day though. So if we get lucky enough to get pullbacks, we'll continue to take them. If you're in something like the Qs, certainly at this high, you're probably going to get some more consolidation. But if you're in this, just ride it up, let Hackenacci tell you. Another way to trail this is to just go, a couple of days back at the lows, and then every day it goes up, you trail it up. That's one way to preserve a lot of your capital. Or, if you're in it and you've got a break even plus stop on the remaining portion, I would wait then for a red Hackenacci at this point. Okay. All right, let's look at crude, or in this case, we'll talk about USO. Okay. So oil's hit an all-time recent high, right? And again, when you look at the seasonal aspect, it's been stronger. Typically, we get weaker now on oil, right? But my issue with trying to short this right now is that you're in a nice trend up. So what I'm looking for, like back here, I didn't short this, okay? What I wanted is to come down, come back up, and make a lower high, and it never did that, right? So in this case, for me to want to short oil, I'm not going to take the next trigger short. It'd be the second if it was a lower high, okay? But you bulls on oil, the trend is your friend. So, this was another great opportunity where you got red. If you were out of the position, then when you get the Laguerre curving back up, it wasn't all the way into the green here, but that's okay when it starts curving up and you get a green Hackenacci. Again, this is a good opportunity. And if you're in this trade, there's no reason to exit it because the Hackenacci is very strong still. Okay, very strong still. So basically, that was 45 to about like a $3,000 contract trade on futures of US. If you or option play, you probably made a good 50% right now. All right, let's talk about, where is it? Where are you, dollar? There you are. All right, so again, we've been in this massive downtrend. Every retracement has got kicked back, right? So seasonals, there's not much of an advantage, a little bit to the downside on the dollar, okay? So folks, what I'm looking for here is that Laguerre now to agree with Hackenacci. When a Laguerre starts coming down, that can be a new entry for another short to new lows, okay? Ideally, what I would like to see though is price a little bit higher, give you a little bit more room. It's kind of consolidating right now. So I probably won't take the next trigger short, but that's what I'd be looking for. So if it comes higher and then rolls back over like it did here, right? That's really what I'm looking for. Okay. Bitcoin, nice move up today, but Bitcoin has been in this range right here, right? Big move down range, and what it's going to do is eventually break out again. Obviously, we don't know which direction at this point. Okay. There's a lot of buying coming in here. I'm only playing long plays on the cryptos right now. So in this point, if we get a long trigger, then you've got opportunity. In my opinion, eventually we'll hit new highs at some point. We don't know when that's going to be, right? So I would go in a quarter or half of your normal position, whether it's trading Bitcoin or whether it's trading, a stock like Mira. Sorry about that. That's really what I'm looking for. So, as an example, Riot, right? You can see here, it's kind of breaking out. It's been a little bit stronger than Bitcoin. Okay. But these are the type of opportunities where, I do think we're going to head higher. Just a matter of how low we're going to go before we retest this 80 level. Okay. So, if we get another pullback and it's a higher low, okay, that will be my new entry. Okay. It will pull back. So if we get a breakout here, we are going to get a pullback at some point. Okay. Or if it turns right back around and goes lower, it's just going to give us another entry long in the near future. So that's kind of how I'm playing. I'm just sitting on my hands right now on these type of crypto plays. Okay. A lot been going on with AMD lately. Had a nice move up. Now it's consolidating. So again, if you took profits in this point, I still like it higher. I'm just, we'll probably get a little bit of a pullback here. And then as long as it stays a higher low, we'll continue to blast off on AMD. Okay. I've got strong bullish sentiment here. And again, my sentiment indicator, it's got some artificial intelligence. It also uses volume, technical analysis, and a customized EMA that I look at to basically predict, where we're going in the future, bullish, bearish, or neutral. Okay. I use this in conjunction with the weeklies to, to keep an eye on the overall sentiment in that market condition. Okay. Nvidia. And Nvidia is just doing phenomenal. We got a bullish sentiment with seasonality up the what. Had a perfect trigger here. Okay. Laguerre trigger, green Hackenacci. I mean, you don't know at the time how far it's going to go, but you're getting in at probably a pretty good entry. Okay. Probably a pretty good entry. So at this point, folks, if you're in it, again, there's no reason to exit, right? No reason to exit. Are we getting close? Possibly, possibly, but I would wait for a red Hackenacci before I were to exit this trade if I was you. And again, high probability. So what we're looking for when it does pull back, we'll look to re-enter, right? And you'll do this the entire year. Any pullback on Nvidia, you look to go long when you get the next trigger, okay? Broadcom, right? That was the one I was telling you that just the odds on this going higher is unbelievable. Okay, that comes from my data mining. This entry was fantastic. Now it's consolidating again, but made money. You can see where I'm auto trading some of this stuff here. But you can ignore this for now. I'm just playing around with some stuff. But anyway, so with this, you can see that we hit a nice profit here. Now, again, come back around and I'll do it again. Okay, just like Nvidia. You can trade these multiple times throughout these type of seasonal patterns, right? CRM is another one that's got a move coming. You can see 1.0s are all 8% moves coming. Okay, so it had the combo trigger here. Wham. High probabilities. High probabilities. Okay. Google. You've all heard of Google. If you can afford it, again, they had a perfect trigger here to Laguerre. And again, the reason I wanted to start out and show you a bunch of examples today of these type of good trades, because you're going to see a pattern that when you have a seasonal move that looks like this, okay, price has been acting extremely normal, and you get that Laguerre finally come out with the green dots, that's what you're going to get more times than not. And again, at this point, no red dot here, you're in Google, there's no reason to exit it yet, okay? I don't see any divergence yet. Nothing is showing up that would be alarming at all at this point, okay? Shopify's got a nice 5-year seasonal pattern coming, so I'm keeping this on the radar. This is a good trigger here. You can see we're getting ready at some point in the near future of another trigger on Shopify. Again, little alarming as ADX has gone red now, meaning it's not in a trending environment, so we may go sideways for a while, but it will eventually break out of that. Okay, so keep an eye on that. Bonds seasonal long, right? I told you I wasn't going to take the first trigger because it's been acting pretty weak, right? But now you can see it's kind of bottomed up here. We got a trigger here, but ADX is red. So I didn't take this trigger. But what I'm looking for is to continue up, break out, pull back, and then give me that long play. So who knows? Maybe in the next webinar we have, there'll be a trade on bonds or TLT. Right now, I'm just kind of watching at this point. It hasn't really been able to break out of this right here either. It's a really tight range, but I do believe it's going to break out and go up to the upside based on what it typically does this time of year. Okay. Gold. So gold, again, obviously has made its move back to what it should be. Had a retracement back to the middle band, and now we're heading higher. Laguerre is still heading down. So again, I'd like to see more of a pullback on gold. Okay, come back and then give us a new entry. And if we do, I'll probably go public on this one because we typically have a seasonal now until late August to the long side. And so come on, give me a bigger pullback, and then we'll look at taking that. The other way to do this, folks, is going to 4-hour. Okay, and so we had a 4-hour trigger Friday at 5. Okay, and now we're waiting for the next one, right? So if you're looking to go long gold, you can always go long on that next 4-hour trigger as well. All right, let me just take a look at some of these. So DHI, DR Horton. Okay, this is one of my favorite trades right now. Okay, I took the trigger here, and you can see it's basically gone against me a little sideways down on this trade right now. But this is one of those data mining that I use, and we have this beautiful seasonal. So it hasn't really been breaking below this 90, and so what I like to do when we get that new trigger, I'll add into my position, probably not in the alert system because I don't want people to put too much in one trade. Okay, but this trade, when we look at DHI, DR Horton, the next webinar I hold, okay, the likelihood this is going to be higher is overwhelming. Okay, and those of you that have the data mining know that. That's why I took it. I still waited for the rules. And now we're just waiting. Okay, but this should be breaking out to the upside. So as a free opportunity for you all from a public standpoint, wait for that next Laguerre and you can get in. You're going to get in at a better price than I did. Okay. All right, let's talk. Let me bring up the VIX. Let's talk VIX here. So again, we've just been kind of going pretty steady here to the downside, which means markets are going up a little bit, get retracements, go up, get retracements. But what I'm waiting for, again, when we get into the end of this month, I'm looking for a spike up. The next spike up like we get here, like we did in middle of May, okay, this is going to be a great opportunity to short this. Okay, and there's different ways of doing it. I talk about this quite a bit now because I really want people to have this as part of their arsenal. But we'll talk more about this. But when the VIX spikes, this is going to give us lots and lots of opportunities. So it doesn't happen all the time. It does maybe a few times a year. But when it does, what happens? Yeah, it always comes back down. Okay, it always comes back down. So when that happens, see it come back down, see it come back down. It always comes back down, always, folks. So you need strategies to make money during these windows of opportunity, okay? I know some traders that only trade this. They always have very large accounts and trade a lot of money on these few trades a year, but that is how predictable. You just need to know how to trade those, okay? So keep an eye on the VIX. Look at that daily or weekly, depending on your time, okay? All right, so let me kind of talk about some opportunities here. Let's just kind of go through some, what I'm looking for, okay? WEC Energy Group, WEC, and I'm just waiting for that long trigger. We got strong bullish sentiment, good seasonal, okay? So I'm obviously waiting for green Hackenacci, a Laguerre turning up, and then this will be an opportunity for you. So keep WEC on your watch list. No need to jump the gun. This also came up on the Bollinger Band scan because it hit the 2.5 standard deviation and then bounced up. But again, I'm still waiting for a actual trigger, okay? Actual trigger there. My trade of the month that I put on YouTube, PKG, just waiting for it to trigger. So we're getting extremely lucky here, right? It's come down, no Laguerre yet. Okay, look at this. So again, if this continues down, we're just gonna wait. We're just gonna wait, we're just gonna wait. But at some point, if this triggers in the next week or two long, I'm gonna be all over this. So what does that mean? Laguerre come on up, green Hackenacci will definitely test those highs in my opinion, okay? Again, high probability opportunity, just waiting on the trigger. Just look at it. Every day you look at it. If it's meeting your rules, you take it. If not, go somewhere else, okay? PCG, PG&E, you can see here, right? Look at that. Look at that downward action. So those of you bears, okay, it's been following its pattern. It's been weak. Next pullback, you want to go short something, look at PG&E, okay? Kirk, look at that. Do I have to say anything else? So, look at this. We got bullish sentiment. Laguerre's heading up. We got let me blow that up for you, sorry. Okay. Here's what I like about this. This may be on my alert service for tomorrow. Okay. If I got into this trade, if price closes below this wick, I'm just going to get out. Okay. Small losses, big wins. And so at this point, with seasonality, came down to the bottom Bollinger Band. Now it's bouncing. Okay. I like this from many standpoints, from a seasonal, from a rule-based, gear heading up, price heading up. But look at the risk reward. See that? So keep Kirk on your list, folks. And I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. All right. Nvax. So we had a trigger right here on May 18th on Nvax. It kind of consolidated, and now it's broken out. Okay. Strong bullish sentiment, combo trigger. I know many of you took this. Okay. But that's what we look for. Okay. We look for, again, today, what I'm really trying to focus in on is routine, what I look for. If you're looking at something, let me just type in something randomly like Facebook. Okay. If you look at something today and you're tempted, why would you want to go long Facebook right now when then you can go look at something we're looking at that has much better triggers? Okay. Now, back here on May 17th, absolutely. Okay. But what you want to do is you want to grab these triggers when they happen to give yourself that biggest probability. It doesn't mean Facebook won't go higher. Okay, I just grabbed this just to look at it. But again, what's better? That, right? Or something like right here, okay? When we got that trigger right there. So keep an eye on those rules and follow them. Another one I'm looking at, there's a lot, folks. UAA. Okay, we got a move coming up. We got neutral sentiment. So I do like to see this neutral go to bullish. But we're consolidating here. And so the next trigger, you got the ADX red. So this is what I'm watching to go to the upside, but we're not ready yet, right? We got issues with the ADX. We've got neutral sentiment. So I'm just waiting. So this is just part of my patience, okay? Sure, Key, let's take a look at Home Depot. So again, trigger right here. Now you're just waiting for the move to happen, okay? My plan to exit a trade like this is if it breaks through here, continues down, okay, you might as well get out and come back in when that happens, okay? So keep your losses small. Lumber, which Home Depot is a big part of the lumber, has been very, very bullish. So we're just getting this normal retracement, a high. Again, following the rules, you enter right here, good opportunity. It didn't make enough money to get out. So now you're kind of stuck here down in consolidation. But if it breaks down past this level, you're better off just exiting the trade and moving on. Okay, you're not going to win them all. But look what's coming. So if you end up exiting this trade, you know that you're just going to wait to re-enter here in the near future. I think we're consolidating. We're going to get a trigger here in the next day or two and continue this move higher, just based on what the indications are. We still got strong bullish sentiment. Everything else is working in our favor there, okay? Absolutely. So this is Home Depot. Okay, so let me see, what else am I looking at? There's quite a few, like I said. So let me grab, I'm going to go in here and go to one of my watch lists. I'm going to let it load for a minute. I'm going to look at SEG, okay? And the 1.0s, which means we have an 8% move coming. So Apple, we haven't talked about Apple yet, right? So I've been in Apple, and now it looks like it finally wants to make its move, right? We got a new re-enter here and so forth. So I'm expecting Apple to continue higher now. So if you're not in Apple yet, we had a good move curvature of the Laguerre with green Hackenacci. We have a nice seasonal move coming here. So I'm looking at these 1.0s that have some recent triggers, okay? CERS had a combo trigger here, but it's really consolidating to the downside, red ADX. I'm skipping that right now, okay? You can see when I analyze a screen, it doesn't take me long. I don't have to overthink any of this, right? In fact, let's start at the top on these 1.0s and just take a quick look at some of these. So ABR, again, if you got in off the trigger, you're happy. You would still stay in this until you get a red dot, okay? But at this point, if you're not in this trade, you gotta wait. Acadia. Looks like it finally wants to break out, but I'm not touching this year because this is nasty price action, okay? But again, if you're buying the stock, you don't have to worry about time decay. You can, back here would have been a good entry, okay? With at the time, you don't want to hold an option play if it's not really moving. Now it's moving, and it'll probably hit my target. I thought that it would this year of 95. It's really getting moving now. AEO, same thing. So no new trigger yet, right? So you just go to the next one. You're waiting. You have a move coming. AMD, we talked about. Ameriprise Financial, again, had our trigger back here. So now you're just waiting, but this was the trigger. This was the entry point, okay? AMRN, having a breakout to the upside. Amazon, here we go, right? Is Amazon getting ready to hit new highs again? ARWR, same thing. You had the curvature, then green, and look at that seasonal move. Very, very high predictable moves here. Strong bullish sentiment. That's what we look for. if you think about it, my main watch list, all I'm looking at are high probability moves, and I'm waiting for triggers within that. Okay. Best Buy consolidating. It looked like it finally wants to get moving on ADX here, but again, I want to see some more movement before I take this. Why? Because there's better trades out there. There's better trades out there. Brunswick Corp, same thing, just waiting on that trigger now. See that? Next trigger. BCLI, same thing. I don't love this price action. I would be ignoring this right now. BCRX made its move. So far, we need a pullback. Okay. Baidu. Same thing. We're waiting for that to kind of break out. That's a massive downtrend on Baidu. So I'm ignoring that this year as of right now. Okay. You can see here how price has been lower. We typically go higher. So I'm skipping the seasonality of Baidu this year at this point isn't what I'm looking for. BLDR, Builder's First Source. Again, is this it? Are we getting there? Had a retracement after that high. Now look at that. Pretty good opportunity, right? Just waiting to see at this point how tomorrow opens up. You can put your stop right below this wick here, folks. Small loss, big reward, right? Again, that's really what we look for, right? These type of gems, because if they don't work out, you just get out. Car, we just need a pullback. CF Industries, we need a pullback. Same thing here. CDE, but we had a nice trigger back here in May with that seasonal move. So you kind of get the gist, okay? And I know we haven't met, well, I think it's been, what, 3 weeks or whatever. And so I wanted to show you again, routine, finding your setups, waiting for the best of the best because there's a lot of them. And so if you do that, you're just going to give yourself, a really good opportunity to be successful at this. And those of you that are already successful, it just allows you to look at some really good setups. So let me go to scan. So let me just take a look at a couple of these here for you. So AMLP. Then we need a red. If you're trying to pick a top, you need a red Hakamatsu before you were to take this. This again is a Bollinger Band scan. Okay, so again, what that is it stretched above the 2.5 standard deviations and then it came back in. Okay. So what I look to do, I don't like to go against big uptrends though, but what I look for is opportunities to go back to the mean, right? That's basically a trade to get back to the mean. So let me see if I can find a good one for you as we go through these. No red candle yet. You're just waiting. Just waiting. Just waiting. So again, you have a system in place. This takes you a couple minutes to look through them. So here's what I like. Okay, so now this is a bullish divergence. Okay, and it came down to Bollinger Band. Now it's come back up, but no green candle yet. Okay, but this looks like to me probably a bottom. So if the Laguerre, when it comes higher with the green Hakamatsu, FISV is another one that I'd be looking to take, right? Because it's in the direction of the seasonal once that happens, okay? IBB, again, you're looking to go a counter trend on this. no red yet. You just skip it. I think we're going to make a much higher move in the markets here. So here's one where you don't have seasonality. It's just more to the downside. I would skip that one. We got 3 more to go through for today. Let me just go through them. Same thing. I don't want to fight that uptrend. Moderna. Same thing here. If we're going to play them reverting to the mean, you need a red Hakanachi to do that. Tata Motors. So there you go. You had a high. Now, if it closes red, if you do reversion to mean trades, here's all you need to do, right? Go in, put your stop above the high, and look for that reversion back to the mean, okay? It just gives you that opportunity. Just gives you that opportunity, okay? My caution is when an uptrend, I prefer these type of trades, FISV, right? Where you're getting the Bollinger Band, snapback, divergence, and in the direction of the back into the direction of the season. Okay, those by far are my favorite. But everyone's different. Everyone, you may just be looking to do more size, a reversion to the mean, whatever your goals are. Another one, folks, here, Costco, right? Anytime you get a retrace, but when Costco finally retraces more, keep that on your list for a long play. I don't want to go in at highs here, but I'm hoping we get down to the bottom band here, and then we get a re-enter on Costco. But that would be a good one to add to your long-term portfolio as well, in my opinion. Okay. All right, folks. So our next one's going to be June 30th. I may end up going once a month during the summer, just because I noticed a decline in attendance as well in the summer here. Totally understandable. I'll keep going at least once a month. But once fall resumes, I'll certainly go back to every other week. So it's not that I'm losing interest in you all or anything like that. It's just, that's what people are busy in the summer. So yeah, so PAL, you can see I've got my stop loss right here. Okay. You can see the seasonal move. Palladium is absolutely going higher, folks. If this comes and hits my stop, I'm going to absolutely look to re-enter here in the near future. But again, I don't want to take too much heat on something. If it breaks the lows, basically I say, okay, you win this time. And now I'm going to wait to re-enter, okay? But if you think this trade is over yet, you don't know Palladium. We could get a move up and hit profit target 1 by Friday easily on this when it gets moving, okay? So absolutely, again, we took the trigger here, at least I did, came up, and now we're just waiting for those rewards, but we have our plan in place. What I'd love to see is come back up, hit profit target 1, keep that second portion of your trade until you get a red Hakanachi, okay? So that's my plan. And now I can walk away and not worry about it, right? All right, folks. Well, again, if you ever have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. Again, the 30th is the next live event for this 1 o'clock session. And we'll see. Maybe I'll keep them every other week, regardless, because even if I get a few of you in here, we'll definitely keep things moving. But let me clarify. This is not boring time, but people are busy. So a lot of people will take time off and go on vacations and stuff. There's some great trades, some great seasonal moves, right? Thanks, Chris. Feel free to email if you have any questions. Again, folks, those of you that are new, here's my email. Let me put it in there. Feel free to email me if you have questions. So other than that, folks, have a great weekend. Stay warm. That shouldn't be a problem, right? As most people are getting record heat. But again, I appreciate everyone's support. If you need anything, reach out. Other than that, take care, everyone. Bye now.